Today we're going to talk about the top 3 reasons why people make bad passwords. The first reason is convenience, right? The second one is going to be lack of awareness, and the third one is going to be reusing passwords. Now, all 3 reasons are really bad reasons to use if you want to create a good and strong password. So before we do that, before we talk about what is a good and strong password that I can demonstrate in this passwordmonster.com, whatever is a thing, I'm going to talk about the 3 different reasons first. Convenience is the easiest way for you to create a password. Let's, for example, say that you have a password and that would be your company name. So you work for a company called SoftPass. And then you figure, well, I need to make it like with a number. So you put like 1 and 2 in the end, and you also need a special character, so maybe you do something like that. Okay, so might even say that this is a strong password. Now these kind of strong feel when you create a password. Also, when you're gonna go ahead and use these password meters, you're gonna get like a false, well, we can say a false report back to you stating that this is strong, this is bad, this is good. Now let's just analyze this for just a second. For convenience, right? It's a 12 character long password. That is not bad, but still I would say too small for these days. The number 1, a dot, a period, the word SoftPass, a dot, a period again, and number 2. The overall composition is horrible. Now the problem with these password meters is that they cannot really see any difference. So if I just, for example, move 1, 2, and put a dot there, or put a dot in the end, see how it kind of reacts. For a computer, it doesn't really matter if the dot is in the end or in the start, the number is in the start or the end, or in the end. What really matters is if you have the password in a password list, and you can download something called Rainbow Tables. And Rainbow Table is basically just a big password file containing all passwords within, let's say, 12 characters, with all characters in the character set, special characters, numbers, and letters and stuff like that. So you have the password. This is gonna take 2 days to crack. So you're gonna say, okay, so how can I make that faster? Well, I can then, utilize a cloud hacking service, or just utilize my own cloud service, and then, put the task and divide it, and then divide and conquer, as you're gonna say, and then boom, 2 days becomes 1 hour. So this is actually bad passwords, and just playing around with these, so I said put the number 2 just there, and now it's strong. Why is that? Why is it strong? So convenience is a thing, right? So you have this kind of password like that, and you're being told this is strong because the password meters is also a part of convenience. So it's gonna tell you what is bad and what is good. I don't really like these kind of password meters. It's a good guideline. Some of them can be better than others. It's a good, and well, if I could turn them all off in the whole world, I would say let's do it. I know that some people say like, oh no, but then how can I then see what is a bad password? Well, you would probably think more about it and probably create a better password. A better password, still 12 character long. You can say like, is it like saying, I just did, 12 characters now. And the reason for this is bad, even though I use special characters that is outside the character of the American character set. Probably because I wrote QWERTY. So if I then do that as a large letter, and that is a large letter, you can see just altering a few things will confuse this meter. So if I take this and make this large, maybe it's gonna get strong soon. And this is the fun part, Why is this? So we can. Well, how did I make that? There you go. So now it's medium, but it's still Curity ULO is still the same. you follow the same row on your keyboard to create the password. So there are so many things these kind of password meters cannot help you with. So let's look at the second point called lack of awareness. Now, people may simply just not know. They might be like, but I don't know that. I have no idea. This is so bad. Why is my password somewhat like that, 12? And why is that bad? It's 9 characters. Who's gonna try and sit and guess? Because they don't really know. They don't know how fast a computer can guess and input passwords. They don't have no idea. Well, that is another thing that's really gonna make things difficult. Which is why every office and employee needs this kind of minimum amount of knowledge in the digital world. Back in the days, the minimum amount of knowledge was, you have to lock the lock with a key. You have to protect the lock, else a burglar gonna get inside and steal your stuff. The same applies to a password, but it kind of doesn't stick the same. It's because the human psyche say this is not physical. It's not a thing that I have in my hand, so it's not really something that can get stolen. It is, and trust me, it's going to be worse than a stolen TV. The third one is going to be reusing passwords. So it's time to shift our password. What we're going to do is say 1 2 1 3 1 4 1 5 1 6. We can continue for that for 9 times, and then basically you're just going to say 19, you can say 20, 21, 22, 23. Look at how it kind of increased the minutes every time I do increase the number. That's very interesting. 90, 91, 95. You cannot trust this password meter. Why is it that it's gonna be 2.5 minutes to crack that, and 25 seconds to crack that? Why is that? It's just the same composition. So that is another very interesting point to talk about, that you cannot really trust these kind of faulty password meters. I would always skip having a password meter on a web page that I create. I would never tell people to use it, because the rule is gonna be false. It's gonna create a lot of false positives, which is basically the same way of saying it's gonna tell you this is a strong password. Maybe you put another dot, maybe you have 2 dots, just stuff like that, then you're good to go, and you're not. It's gonna be a horrible thing. As soon as this one get out, it's gonna be cracked in just a few minutes, and boom, you're done. So talking about these kind of 3 reasons, so convenience, lack of awareness, and of course reusing passwords, I want to say that is the 3 top reasons. And if we're going to talk about the different kind of, how do they rank? Is it convenience first? Is it lack of awareness, or is it reusing passwords? Now I would say, and probably you should guess, and you're going to say with me, 3, 2, 1, reusing passwords. Reusing passwords for me is what I see. It's going to be the biggest issue, because when we talk about the 1.4 billion leaked passwords that I did some machine learning project on, and I verified that what people really do is just to rearrange a few numbers or special characters, or just increase a number, or move a letter, or make it capitalized, or something like that. Really, it's going to say they're going to reuse the password and just alter a small part of it. That's going to tell the hackers that if you're going to get your hand on a big list of passwords we know that some users use at some point, that's really valuable to those hackers, because they can just generate a program creating a lot of passwords that is within the reach of that, within the amount of alteration that humans typically do. So, we're not talking about hacking your way into one account. We're talking about you have access to maybe, let's say, 1,000 different accounts, and you're gonna make sure that you're gonna get access to just one of them by generating all these kind of new passwords that are like alike the other one. So that maybe the user, maybe it's just 91. What's up with this? Like, what's it? 90, 3 months, 92, 11 years. What? I don't get it. You know, this is a really weird one. I don't know what is 99, and this is really weird. So I would say never rely on password meters. We just proved that, you know, just altering 99 to 98, 11 years, 99, 2 months. It's incredibly bad. Alright, so I think for this video is around 10 minutes long now. I talked about top 3 reasons. I really hope you learned something about this password thing and take it seriously. And of course, just, you know, ask your question below in the comments. I'm gonna get back to you as soon as possible.